Hello, everyone. I decided to document my journey back into lifting after a back, hip, and knee injury. There's not much information I could find online about people coming back into lifting after these types of injuries, so I figured I would document my journey back in. On the screen right now is just my warm-up set. It's 50 pounds. The Smith's machine I use says it adds 15 pounds to the bar. I don't know how accurate that is, so I just call it 50 pounds for my records. I'm just trying to focus on my form as I'm getting back in. Try to make sure everything's sound as I go higher, uh, higher weight, higher reps. Here, what I'm focused on is core stability, core strength, activating my core throughout the whole lift. Here's my first set. I have a total of 100 pounds, which is pretty light. I used to squat about 200 pounds, but trying to put my ego aside and just focus on form again. So what I'm focused on here is trying to keep my feet pointed straight. And as I'm looking back at the video, I'm not doing such a great job of it. I used to flare out my feet really wide. I talked to a physical therapist and he said some real technical stuff about the hip that I don't understand. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I don't really know. But he said that for the hip to move properly, you want to keep your feet pointed straight at your target, wherever you're facing. It allows the hip to rotate through the socket correctly. So here's my second set. I feel a little fatigued here. Uh, going as deep as I do, if you watch how deep I go in the squat, I try to go as low as I can. It's about 90 degrees. I try to go lower just to build strength throughout the whole lift. I know a lot of people try to go below 90 degrees. I think there's some benefit to that. Again, I'm not a doctor, not a sports scientist, but it sounds right to me. So that's what I've been trying to do. As I get into the later reps of each set, my form, unfortunately, starts to break down and I start to move slower to focus back on the form. But if you lift, you know that going slower can make the movement harder and makes the form break down more. Whenever my form starts to break down, I really just try to focus on my core. That kind of helps take the pressure off the back. And that's the winner here. You really want to avoid re injuring the back. I've had a lot of setbacks and I've tried to get back into lifting much earlier than I should have. I was cleared by a physical therapist to squat again. And he told me to stay on the Smith machine, no free bar. It helps provide extra stability, less degrees of freedom, less chances of you to re-injure your back. I do 4 sets, try to do 10 reps each set. That's my program for squatting. Here I've just showed my squats. That's the lift most people care about when they get back into lifting and want to avoid injuring their back. But here I've shown 1 set of RDLs. This is my new PR for RDLs, so I wanted to include it in the video. It's 25 pounds on each side of the bar, so I think in total that makes 95 pounds, which is huge for me. I used to be able to do about 185, but I was very excited about my progress, so I wanted to throw it in the video. Here you can see my form is not great. I can definitely go lower here. I'll probably focus on that next time, but I wanted to include this just because it made me really happy that I was able to push more weight. And after all this, my back didn't hurt. That's the key. If anything hurts, you need to stop lifting immediately. Focus on keeping your back healthy. Strength comes next.